Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. You're going to meet a new person today, a distinguished person in my opinion. He's the chief editor of 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝗀𝗄𝗀. And what piqued my interest was an article he wrote recently about Arvind Mayaram's raid and subsequent action by the CBI about fake currency. But what really piqued my interest was when the article that he wrote, when I read that article, that was mind-blowing. I mean, I thought I knew a lot about fake currency. This opened my eyes to many more dimensions. For example, I'm going to read just 2 lines from his article. In 2010, the CBI found an astonishing thing when they investigated the RBI vaults because of the counterfeit notes in the 70 odd branches of various banks on the India-Nepal border. CBI had raided these branches and the bank officials told them something mind-boggling, that they had received these fake notes from the RBI. So RBI itself had 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝗏𝗍𝗍 notes, fake currency notes. They couldn't figure out whether it was right or wrong, whether it was the real thing or the counterfeit notes. So there's a lot of information packed in this conversation that you're going to have. So let us welcome Desh Kapoor, chief editor of 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝗀𝗄𝗀. Desh, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskaram, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. As I told you, I've always been a fan of your work. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Viewers, I would like you to like this video right away because this is the kind of information that you're not going to get everywhere. Desh has spent a lot of time investigating this. So I want to take you back to that time period, Desh, when India was, getting its currency printed from 3 different places. And what Delaro is just one. So this is the thing. It kept opening my eyes as I read through your article. It kept opening my eyes to, oh my God, this happened too. This happened too. And some of those companies I've even worked with as an encryption person. So I knew some of the people there. So I know those companies are good. So anyway, take it away. Where did you think about writing this article? What piqued your interest?
Right. I've been writing this blog since 2005, 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝗀𝗄𝗀.com, right? And so what really happened was I would read certain things and I would say save them, or I would write something about it. In 2010, I distinctly remember that there was an article that there were some branches in the Indo-Nepal border, where the raid was done, and they found the counterfeit notes. And after some time, a new article came saying that the CBI had gone and done the investigation, and they had found actually those notes were actually from RBI vaults, and they just could, earlier they had thought, okay, it must have come from ISI, and they kept on doing the investigation, and they actually found during the investigation in the case that there was this lawyer who was trying to buy time, and he said, well, I don't think these are fake. So these seem to be real. So when they actually did the test, they found that those the notes around that area were actually selling for half the price. At that time. So when they did the investigation, they found in the Indian labs that this was real currency. So kuch jam nahi raha tha. So then what they did was they actually sent it to foreign labs, and finally the American lab told them that it was so close to the real currency that the difference had been added on intent, deliberately, and then they realized that they were so audacious that they had actually added the difference between real and the fake currency on deliberately there. And so when they started doing the investigation, they actually found that all the notes were coming actually from RBI itself, the RBI vaults, and that's where the CBI had done the their raids, and that's what they found out. And so it was really later on when I was writing this article, I went back and I tried to find those articles that were there. I just could not find any article except one. And then there is a book which also talks about the same thing. the fake currency saga. The Sun Rises from the West is the book, and the fake money saga was the article that is still out there. But it's very tough to find information on this, one piece of a series of events that happened. And possibly this was, like it is being said, this was one of the reasons why the demonetization was done in such a secretive manner that even the RBI was not involved. Like only very few people were involved
Yes, yes, yes.
actually like doing this, because the rot was so deep that even our central bank vaults were had actually fake currency in them. So
So there were not just one supplier of currency to India, currency paper to India. There was 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝙑𝗏, which we keep taking aim at, but there were two other companies also, and one of them, 𝙒𝗥𝗲𝗳𝙑𝗏, for full disclosure, I've worked with them. These are good guys. They supply currency to 65 different countries. I've worked with them on an encryption project, and they are very, it's a private company, very secretive. Hardly anyone knows outside of their industry who they are, and so on and so forth. So they are a fairly quiet operators. Looks like India bought currency from paper from them, perhaps even notes, and also from another French company.
right, 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙬𝗎, and then there was a US company, Crane AB, and 𝙒𝙬𝙣𝗲𝗏 from Germany. And actually there were few unnamed officers in the Ministry of Finance in November 2011. They actually sent a letter to the Central Vigilance Commission, CVC, and they said that it was not just 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗏 which was like doing all these things, but also these three companies which had actually failed the tests that 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗏 had also failed. So there was a far bigger breach of security that was going on, and like obviously at that time 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗏 was blacklisted, but the other companies were also involved in the whole mess at that time.
Absolutely. And one of the theories floated about is who really owns 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗏.
Right.
Now, of course, with your article coming out, it has cast a wider net. But there are many people, many players involved. In this whole saga, right, there are also situations where some of these presses were printing multiple notes with the same serial number.
Right, exactly. And so that was actually the biggest issue, because so one of the things also came out was that there's this RTI activist who tried to look at things, and he was like trying to see how many notes were being sent out from the mints and how many were being received by RBI. And he found that there were almost between, I think, around 2000 to 2011, there were around almost 24,000 crore of notes which were sent by the mint, but 24,000 crore more were actually received by RBI. So where did these 24,000 crore more notes that were never sent by the mint came from? So there was this like argument at that time that like we were actually printing like two notes of the same like
serial number. Yeah. Now, I'm also going into and referring to your article. There is a interesting paragraph that you say where you're saying that 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗏 was actually in partnership with Pakistan Central Bank.
Yeah, this was the most unexpected piece of information that I got, and it is right there in Wikipedia of all places. And actually, I went in. So if you go to Pakistan Central Bank or something, I think like that's where I went.
Right,
and I found that they have a partnership, a joint venture, since 1950 with 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗏. So what better company to go with, than 𝗥𝗲𝗬𝗏 to print our own currency?
And see, the other thing that is mind-boggling. See, if you start, connecting the dots, right?
Right.
It almost becomes apparent that the RBI seem to have some connects with the ISI. See, today the ISI is an independent body dish. It is not getting its salaries from the Pakistani army. They have established themselves as a big enough entity now. They have their own set of industries. They have their own sources of income.
Right.
And essentially, they are a power onto their own. I
Right.
wonder when they are going to declare independence from the Pakistani army, at which point this will be East India Company version 2.
I know. And see, the thing is that, this actually piqued my interest because, like, I was thinking that Pakistan has been in this position for a long time, many times before. How is it and why is it that this time it is at such a terminal situation? And the reason why, like, which I kind of proffer, is that uh, that it was being floated by all the theft that it was doing in the Indian economy. The Indian economy was actually keeping it afloat. There was an article in Mint that there was this one study which was done, and it came out that 500 crore was being earned by Pakistan's ISI every year from the fake currency notes. The hawala is like totally a different ball game altogether because that's in billions. So if you take all of these things, like, we were actually floating not only the Indian economy but also the Pakistani economy. So so what was happening is that, like, if you look at what was going on, if your central bank has, like, fake currency notes, and they are so difficult to distinguish, and they're coming from the same company, then one can actually, like, make a argument that maybe both of them were actually working together, or at least the RBI was so hopelessly and so deeply compromised that, like, it was taking the fake currency notes and putting in its vaults and then dishing it out to the public bank branches.
See, there is another interesting thing. You kind of quickly touched upon Hawala and went away. But as you are talking, I'm thinking, look, if the fake currency is as good as the real currency, right? And the Hawala operators are all having their umbilical cords tied to Dawood Ibrahim in one way or the other.
Right.
The P notes actually gave them a big breath of life, because these guys were taking the rupees here, calling Dawood's gang in Dubai, and they get the equivalent dollar amount less the commission, and somebody who a pawn of the said politician takes a trip to Dubai, goes to this person, gets the dollars, goes to Morgan Stanley or Goldman Sachs, HSBC, gives the dollars, gets a participatory note, and he already handily has a Mauritius company in which he's going to take this participatory note and submit it. That probably is also located in Dubai, so he doesn't have to go anywhere. It's a nice 2-day trip, man. Nice 2-day trip. Put there and then wait, and then they'll say, okay, we are now taking over. We have got the money in our company. We are going to wait and invest in the stock market. And then when some stock is getting pumped up, thanks to some people who are just pumping it up, you go and sell. You buy it at a low and then sell it at a high. Make the profits, because you are a Mauritius company. No capital gains tax. The money comes completely back to you, hot money in dollars, and the cycle repeats.
Yes, absolutely. Rinse and repeat kind of a thing, right?
Yes,
Because hawala and fake currency note, I think I've read somewhere, like, they were linked to each other, because, like, they were being used, not just for the narco terrorism thing, right? Like, which it was obviously linked to, because the entire terrorism was being funded by the fake currency notes and the hawala market itself. But this triangle, or this like quadrilateral of narco, drug thing, terrorism, fake currency notes, and hawala, they were all working really, really well. Because actually, in my article that I wrote about Pakistan and how it was making money out of India, so that's what I argued, that narco and terrorism, hawala, as well as the fake currency, they formed the basis of how Pakistan was actually flushing money out of the Indian economy and floating its own economy. Because think of it like this: Pakistan's economy has never had any export. In fact, I'll tell you something very interesting. When I came to US in the late 90s, I was talking to a Pakistani, and so he was telling me about, like, we have Toyota cars. Like, which cars do you have? I said, like, we have, Maruti at that time, or like maybe Hyundai had just come in. So he was boasting about how they had Toyota and Honda. I said, there's one difference. We make Maruti ourselves. The OEM are within India. You just get, like import all these vehicles. Uh, so one day we will be making vehicles which will be like Toyota and Honda. And that's been the difference. Like, even when India got independent, that's exactly what happened. They got assets from the Western countries, and we got IITs and IIMs. So there was a big difference between how we approach things. In all these years that I've not seen anything of major export happening from Pakistan. I've always seen inelastic imports coming into Pakistan. So I just could not understand or fathom how the Pakistani economy was even afloat. The only argument that I had now was that the tap, like, which was there open from Indian economy, like going over to Pakistani economy, that was shut down by the Modi government. So that is the reason why Pakistan is in such a terminal situation, and it will actually go further on in this, because they have
Well,
no Indian economy to flush money out of now.
absolutely. And viewers, this is why it is very important to understand why the 2000 rupee note in India is becoming scarce. The reason it is becoming scarce is, even today, it is my belief again, even today, it is my belief that the notes can still be counterfeited, even though now India is having its own printing mechanism in a factory in Madhya Pradesh, and another one is coming up. They are almost able to satisfy their demand in terms of printing the note, but still, it is my belief that the security threads have been somehow stolen out, and see, Indian bureaucracy leaks like a sieve. Let me put it that way.
Right.
So even because we are finding 2000 rupee notes also, fake currencies are coming for that also.
Right.
But 2 days ago,
Mhm.
a fake currency operator was caught along with his partner. They had 26 lakhs money in Hyderabad.
Wow.
So there is the guy operating, a Muslim guy. He has a Hindu partner who happens to be the sister of the guy who actually set up this whole thing. That guy has gone underground because he's caught in something else, faking
Wow.
currency.
Hmm.
So he has run away, and he is not caught today. But he wanted to make sure that whatever money is coming, he can keep a handle on things. So he puts his sister there. So these two are the partners doing this business. They are caught today. You think that this is a single cockroach? Have you ever seen a single cockroach?
No, never. And see, just because the law is there, or just because the action is taken by the law enforcement, does not mean that the crime has stopped. The crime will continue, right? And like, even when like, we terminate everything that is out there in terms of the bad people, but like somehow they keep on continuing, and that this is a last resort. For Pakistan, there is no other option, especially for the ISI, like out there, by which they can make money. India is the only option that they have always had, and that's what they have used. So when the demonetization happened, and like, it seems that they have on their payroll a whole lot of people, like whether it's media or it's politicians or whether it's bureaucrats, because like they make silly arguments and they still stick. There was this argument, oh, 99% of all the currency notes came back. So I was like, so I asked a friend. I said, so X is all the RBI notes, Y is all the fake notes, and the total notes were X plus Y. So what came back was 99% of notes. But 99% of what? X, Y, or X plus Y? So that is something that you're not answering. Because if 99% of X came back and Y did not, but that was the whole argument. That was the agenda of Modi government, that Y should not come back. But you're not talking about X plus Y. You are only talking about X, and you're arguing as if like it is X plus Y, and it's not.
Well, this is only the first of what I'm hoping will be a series of conversations with 𝙤𝗲𝗄𝗏, because it has been such an illuminating conversation. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notification. And I guarantee you, I'll get Desh on Twitter Spaces. We are going to set up Twitter Spaces. We are working towards doing that. and Desh will come, and we have so many stories to tell you about fake currency that you can talk and listen for hours on end. So please do follow us. And Desh, it was a pleasure talking to you. We'll be back with more such conversations with Desh. And viewers, thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaskaram. Thank you, sir.